So that, folks, is how you demolish a brand new, still usable men's shirt for a quilt. You can cut your pieces whatever size you want. That's the way that I take a shirt apart. I save every piece that I can. I always save the collars and the buttonholes and the buttons. These are what I use a lot of times to put around the quilts to cinch them together. That way your straps are connected to it when you roll it up to put it on your backpack. They're already there. Got your buttons, why not use them? As I said before, there's pieces like the cuffs. They have 2 buttons on them. Somewhere in my brain, there's something that can be done with these. So I save them all. And I try not to cut the buttons off to begin with because I think they're usable somewhere along the way. My vision is to make something like this and put lace on them and sell them. That's somewhere down the road. But anyway, this is what you have left over. I have a lot of problems with throwing this away because I sincerely think there's a use for everything, so I usually don't get rid of it. I cut everything but the last sleeve up since it was a repeat. When I showed you the 2 sides, one side has a pocket, one side doesn't. So you have to cut those 2 pieces different. But there again, it doesn't matter how you cut them up or what size your pieces are. But I usually tend to cut them out exactly alike because then I know what I'm working with. On that back piece that was rather large, I cut it in half. I saved 1 long piece and I cut 2 short ones. So when you go to do your quilt, I don't necessarily like them to be symmetrical. I think in the old days they had scrap pieces left over and there was not a symmetrical quilt. It was what you had left over. So that's the way I like to do mine. This is a long video. I'm going to try to chop it up and make it fast so you don't sit here for 12 minutes watching me cut. But anyway, I had a friend that I said, hey, do you want me to show you how I cut up my shirts from quilts? And that's why I did it. So this is me, and I will show you what the quilt's going to look like later on because it's a new one for my youngest son. He asked me if he would make him one for his new place. So that will be my next thing. As I showed you in the beginning, you just take a stack. They don't have to match. Somehow it always comes out because that's how Grandma's quilts were. That they were bits and pieces of leftover things, and when it was finished, it was always the most beautiful quilt. You didn't care what it looked like because it was keeping you warm. So this is Sue Survival, how you cut up a shirt for a quilt. And this is an example. There's the back. That's the backs I'm using right now because they're lightweight and they're great for backpacks and for underquilts. But anyway, this is an example of how one of our quilts will come out. This one is my son who went to Wyoming. All of his flannel shirts that he had left that he was putting in the box to give away, and I rescued him. I also rescued his fuzzy blanket that he had ever since he was little, and that'll be going on the back. So as soon as I finish that, I'll try to get you a picture of it so you can see it too. One more time. Like, this is my favorite part. See that? That's the pockets on the shirt. Which also happens to be great for putting your cell phones, your flashlight, whatever, if you have an underquilt in your hammock. It's pretty cool, I think. Thanks for tuning in. Later, taters.